Welcome back, Old Coins TV channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked treasures in American numismatic history, the 1979 Washington half-dollar in very fine condition, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance but holds incredible historical depth, unique design characteristics, collector intrigue, and in certain rare cases, a market value that can reach into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, strike quality, mint errors, and special varieties. Now first let's clarify something important. The traditional Washington design is most famous on the quarter dollar, while the half dollar in 1979 was primarily the Kennedy half dollar. But many collectors and sellers refer to transitional design concepts, pattern strikes, fantasy issues, or misattributed Washington-themed half-dollar collectibles from this era, and that confusion alone has created an interesting niche in the coin market where rare pattern pieces, off-metal strikes, and mint-era coins dated 1979 have achieved strong collector demand, especially when preserved in very fine condition or better. When we talk about very fine condition, we're referring to a coin that has moderate wear on the highest points of the design but still retains clear detail in the hairlines, lettering, date, and mint mark, meaning Liberty and In God We Trust remain bold and readable. Rim definition is strong, and the overall eye appeal remains attractive without heavy scratches or damage. And for serious collectors, eye appeal combined with originality plays a major role in determining value. Now let's explore what truly makes a 1979 half-dollar special in today's market. Because while millions were minted for circulation, not all coins are created equal. Certain mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, wrong planchette errors, or proof strikes accidentally released into circulation have sold for impressive prices at auction. And when such coins are authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC, their market value can skyrocket dramatically. For example, a standard circulated 1979 half-dollar may only be worth face value, but a rare double die obverse in very fine to extremely fine condition can command hundreds of dollars. And a dramatic off-metal strike or high-grade proof error can even reach into the thousands depending on rarity and demand. Collectors also pay close attention to mint marks. Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S proof issues, and while San Francisco proofs were not intended for circulation, finding one with unusual characteristics or cameo contrast in strong preserved condition increases desirability significantly. Beyond mint errors, toning also plays a fascinating role in value, because natural rainbow toning or deep original luster preserved over decades can transform an otherwise common coin into a premium collectible due to aesthetic appeal. And in the competitive world of coin auctions, eye-catching toning can sometimes add hundreds of dollars to final sale prices. Historically, the late 1970s were an interesting time in U.S. coinage as America dealt with inflation, economic shifts, and evolving mint production technology, and coins from this era often show variations in strike quality due to high production volumes, making sharply struck examples more desirable today. When evaluating your own 1979 half-dollar, experts recommend examining key areas such as Washington's hair detail if attributed as a special strike, Kennedy's hair above the ear if standard issue, the eagle's feather detail on the reverse, rim sharpness, and any unusual doubling in lettering, because these details can determine whether your coin remains a simple 50-cent piece or becomes a high-value collector's item. Auction records have shown that rare varieties and high-grade certified specimens from the late 1970s half-dollar series have crossed into the hundreds and occasionally thousands of dollars, especially when tied to low population reports, meaning very few examples exist in that preserved condition. And scarcity combined with demand is the ultimate driver of value in numismatics. Another factor that increases market excitement is the possibility of transitional errors. Coins struck using dies intended for other denominations or experimental compositions. And while extremely rare, such mint mistakes from any year instantly attract serious bidders worldwide. So if you have a 1979 half-dollar tucked away in a drawer, coin jar, or inherited collection, it's worth taking a closer look under magnification, checking for doubling, unusual weight, edge irregularities, or proof-like surfaces, and if something looks different from standard examples, professional grading may be a smart investment. In conclusion, the 1979 Washington Associated or half-dollar collectible story reminds us that even modern-era coins can hold surprising value, and while most examples trade at modest prices, the right combination of very fine preservation, rare mint error, beautiful toning, or certified high-grade status can elevate this coin into the realm of hundreds or thousands of dollars, making coin collecting not only a journey through American history but also an exciting treasure hunt where knowledge truly equals profit. So stay curious, keep searching your change, and remember, the next valuable coin could already be in your hands. As we continue exploring the fascinating world surrounding the 1979 half-dollar in very fine condition, it's important to understand how collector psychology and long-term market trends influence pricing far beyond simple mintage numbers, because while the United States Mint produced millions of half-dollars in 1979, survival rate in attractive collectible condition is a completely different story, especially when you narrow the field down to coins that remain problem-free, evenly worn, free from cleaning damage, and still showcasing strong detail on the high points of the design. In very fine condition, you should still clearly see separation in the hair strands, strong lettering around the rim, defined feathers on the eagle's wings, and a bold date that has not been flattened by excessive circulation. And coins meeting those standards tend to stand out in dealer inventories where lower-grade examples dominate. What truly adds another layer of excitement is the presence of subtle varieties that many casual collectors overlook, such as minor hub doubling visible under magnification, repunched mint marks on certain Denver issues, die cracks forming interesting patterns across the fields, or even die clashes that leave faint mirrored impressions of the opposite design, all of which can transform an ordinary coin into a specialist's prize worth significantly more than face value, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars when certified and attributed. Furthermore, certified population reports from major grading services play a critical role in determining value, because when collectors see that only a small number of 1979 half-dollars exist in a specific grade with a particular variety, bidding competition intensifies, pushing realized auction prices higher and sometimes into the thousands for top-tier examples or dramatic mint errors. Another powerful driver of value is originality, as coins that have never been cleaned or polished maintain natural surfaces that advanced collectors demand, since cleaning can permanently reduce numismatic worth. Meaning a naturally toned very fine example may outperform a brighter but altered coin in terms of market price. Historically, the half-dollar denomination experienced declining circulation use during the late 1970s, leading many pieces to sit in storage at banks or in Federal Reserve vaults. And this unusual circulation pattern means that while large quantities technically exist, truly choice circulated examples with strong eye appeal are less common than raw mintage numbers suggest, adding an interesting supply and demand dynamic to the market. Investors who specialize in modern varieties often search through bank rolls hunting for overlooked errors, because discovering a rare off-center strike, wrong planchet error, or proof die used in regular production can instantly convert a 50-cent coin into a four-figure collectible depending on severity and preservation. Additionally, market timing matters, as precious metal trends, economic uncertainty, and renewed public interest in coin collecting, often driven by viral auction results or social media discoveries, can temporarily boost prices for key dates and rare varieties. And when demand spikes while certified supply remains limited, price guides adjust upward accordingly. Therefore, understanding grading standards, recognizing authentic mint characteristics, studying auction archives, and staying connected to numismatic communities can dramatically improve your ability to identify hidden value within a 1979 half dollar. Because knowledge separates casual holders from serious collectors, and in the competitive yet rewarding world of coin history, even a seemingly common modern-era piece can evolve into a standout collectible when rarity, condition, originality, and market demand align perfectly. Taking the discussion even further, one of the most powerful aspects that elevates a 1979 half dollar in very fine condition from an ordinary circulation piece to a potentially high-value collectible is the combination of technical grading precision and market storytelling. Because in numismatics, value is not determined by age alone but by the narrative behind rarity, preservation, and demand. And when collectors examine a 1979 issue closely, they are not just looking at metal but at a snapshot of late 1970s American mint production, economic climate, and design legacy. In very fine condition, the moderate wear should still allow strong definition in the portrait's hairlines, clear separation in the eagle's breast feathers on the reverse, bold lettering in Liberty and In God We Trust, and a fully readable date and mint mark. And when those elements remain sharp without scratches, rim dents, corrosion, or cleaning marks, the coin immediately becomes more desirable in the secondary market. Now consider how grading services like PCGS and NGC influence value. Because once a coin is encapsulated and officially graded VF30 or VF35, buyer confidence increases dramatically, often raising selling prices compared to raw examples. And if that same coin carries an attributed mint error, such as a strong double die, noticeable die crack, rotated die alignment, broad strike, or an off-center strike, competition among collectors can push auction results into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on visual impact and rarity. Another fascinating factor is strike quality variation. Since high-volume production years often resulted in weakly struck coins, meaning sharply struck examples with crisp details are scarcer than mintage figures suggest, and scarcity within condition tiers creates premium pricing structures that serious collectors understand well. Beyond technical elements, eye appeal remains king, as original surfaces with natural toning, whether subtle champagne hues or deeper peripheral color, can transform a standard very fine coin into a standout piece that commands attention in online auctions and coin shows, sometimes outperforming technically higher graded but dull examples. Historical auction archives reveal that dramatic mint errors from the late 1970s half-dollar series, especially those certified and visually striking, have crossed into four-figure territory, reinforcing the idea that hidden treasures still circulate or sit unnoticed in old collections. Moreover, as interest in modern coin varieties continues to rise through online communities and video platforms, renewed awareness increases demand, and when demand rises while certified populations remain limited, prices naturally follow upward trends. This is why seasoned collectors carefully inspect edges for reading anomalies, weigh coins to confirm correct planchette composition, examine fields under magnification for doubling, and compare specimens to known variety references, because even a subtle diagnostic feature can significantly impact value. Ultimately, the 1979 half-dollar in very fine condition represents more than a 50-cent denomination. It represents opportunity, history, and the thrilling possibility that a coin many consider common may actually possess uncommon characteristics capable of turning it into a prized collectible worth far more than face value, proving once again that in the world of coin collecting, patience, education, and careful observation are the keys to discovering pieces that can reach impressive market levels in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Continuing even deeper into the collector significance of the 1979 half-dollar in very fine condition, it's essential to recognize how the broader numismatic marketplace assigns premium status not only to rarity but to demand cycles, registry competition, and long-term investment potential, because coins from the late 1970s occupy a unique space where they are modern enough to be widely available yet old enough to begin showing attrition in higher collectible grades, and this gradual decline in problem-free survivors steadily strengthens the value of well-preserved examples. In very fine condition, a 1979 half-dollar should display honest circulation wear with smooth high points but still maintain distinct separation in major design elements, and collectors appreciate coins that show natural aging rather than artificial brightness, since originality is often more valuable than shine. When we analyze auction platforms and dealer inventories, we see that certified examples consistently outperform uncertified ones due to buyer trust, population transparency, and long-term liquidity, and if a coin carries an officially recognized variety attribution such as double die obverse, repunched mid-mark, or a dramatic die break, its desirability increases exponentially because variety collectors form a dedicated niche willing to compete aggressively for scarce listings. Another overlooked factor that can push values upward is historical preservation trends, since half-dollars were not as commonly used in everyday commerce by the late 1970s compared to earlier decades, meaning many pieces were stored in rolls or bank vaults. Yet paradoxically, truly choice-circulated examples with attractive surfaces are harder to locate than heavily worn or damaged pieces, and that supply imbalance can push premium prices into the hundreds of dollars for standout very fine coins with exceptional eye appeal. Furthermore, as digital marketplaces expand global access to U.S. coinage, international collectors now participate in bidding, increasing competition and strengthening final sale prices for notable specimens. Long-term price charts also show that while common examples may fluctuate near face value, certified error coins and scarce varieties demonstrate stronger resilience and appreciation over time, particularly when tied to low census numbers reported by grading companies, and in rare cases where striking errors are visually dramatic or compositionally unusual. Four-figure sales are not unrealistic. All of this reinforces an important lesson for collectors and viewers alike. Careful examination under magnification, accurate grading knowledge, understanding of mint processes, and awareness of current market demand can transform an overlooked 1979 half-dollar into a coin of substantial financial and historical interest. And as the numismatic community continues to rediscover modern-era varieties, the opportunity remains open for informed collectors to identify pieces that bridge the gap between common circulation coinage and high-value collectible assets worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's competitive marketplace.